The next topic that your chapter 6 goes over is float. Now, a few of you guys have been asking me, how do you move items or items from one side to the other, to the left to the right, and to the top to the bottom. And CSS does that by using something what they call float. And you basically floating one element to the right and floating over to each side. All right. So next thing we're gonna do, we're gonna go to back to our chapter 6 folder. You actually go ahead. I'm close ahead and close this out. Yeah. I'm gonna go back to my chapter 6 folder down here, and I'm going to go to the folder that says 6.2. Yeah. All right. And let's open up. Um, yeah, let's open up the file that says index. Let's open that file up in Notepad. And this right here, as you can see from my preview over here on the side, it's a little page that talks about a flower, the yellow lady slipper. So let's go ahead and open this up in Notepad. There it is. So, and this file, remember, I got this from our chapter 6 folder, and I got it from 6.2. All right, and we're using the index. We're using that index file, the index.html file. All right, go ahead and minimize you. All right, and I'm going to go ahead and bring you over to the side here. Yeah. Okay, nice, nice. Okay, we got information here. Okay. Now, you see, it has a float. You see, so it has a class on here for float. Let's see what's floating. Okay, so right here it has that float on that image. All right, so this right here is our image tag for that image of the little flower that we're going to play with. So right now, looking at CSS up here at the top, it's floating that page or that picture to the left. Okay, so when we open up this page in Internet Explorer, that picture of the flower should be on the left side. Okay. Yeah, so because it said float, so it says float left. So it should be on the left side. So let's go ahead and open that up. Go. Right, left click on index here, and I'm going to open it up in Internet Explorer. Or what I could have done, it just come up here, file, open, browse, and I'm gonna go to my 6.2 folder and click on index. Yeah, there you go. So now you see it is over on the left hand side. Now let's say we want to move that flower over to the right side. If you're going to do it on the right side, we'll just tell it to float to the right. So I'm gonna come back over here. We're gonna come back over to our notepad, and we're gonna go inside of our index.html file. We're gonna change where it's under float. We're gonna change where it says float left. We're gonna change that left to right. Okay. Alright, so we got it to the right. So I'm going to save. And I'm going to refresh this in Internet Explorer. And there it is. It's now actually moved over to the right. And you can do stuff. You can use float with just about any component of Internet Explorer, in Explorer CSS. So you can you can do it with divs, you can do it with images, you can do it with just about any tag that you want to think about you want to do it with. So it's very cool. Makes it very easy to manipulate and to move, um, to move items. All right, haha. While we're at it, let's see. I don't think this is right. I think there's a float top. I'm just gonna play around with it a little bit, just to play, just to play. See, I'm gonna say top, and if I say float top, I'm thinking it's gonna come up. I'm thinking it's gonna come up here. I'll open this area someplace. Let's see if it works. Haha, yeah, and did. So by default, when you do float top, it actually goes to the top left hand corner, and that's just by everything because everybody reads from left to right. So okay, and the rent right above our paragraph here about our flower. Now, if you do float bottom, boom, we are. It's going to now should move right below this right here. And will it move using normal flow? Where would it go? Would it go underneath? It would have to go underneath. Let's see what using normal flow. Where would it go? Because you tell it to go to the bottom, so it should. I'm thinking it's going to be underneath here. Let's see. Did I save it? Oh, it doesn't like our bottom. It doesn't like our bottom. Okay. So, and that's because, like I said, it's the normal flow. The normal flow right here is like, wait a minute. I can't go. I'm already at the top. I can't go bottom because it's not. That's not part of my element. All right. So that's fine. Okay. Now, that's the float. You can say so you can use float for just about anything. Now, I'm trying to think of something else we can use to play with the float a little bit. Do we have another? I don't think we do. They do have something called clear float, and I'll talk about that. And it's like you have one item that is doing a float. So you may have a uh, menu on the left side, and you have your content over on the right side. And you may have a element on the right side being float to the left or being float to the right. But you may want to. We don't want all of it to be float to the right. So you actually have to tell it, okay, at this particular point, I don't want you to use this float anymore. I want you to go ahead and actually go back to the normal, go back and float to the left. And so you'll use the clear float or float clear, and it will actually stop it from floating. And that's what that is. All right. Yeah. So the next thing was talking about floats. We talked about clearing the float. We can also use overflow. And overflow is a CSS property that allows a div or basically a div or anything. It'll have you can either adjust its size to the content that's in it, that's on top of it, or you can actually have the person, or you can actually have the person scroll, or you can actually have it hidden. So using so let's go ahead and close this one out. Let's close out our index. Now, I'm gonna close out this index.html, and I want to open up go back to our chapter 6 folder. I want to open up in our chapter 6 folder. I want to open up the one that says overflow. Yeah, this is the one I want to use. So that you should have a file in your chapter 6 folder that says it's overflow.html. Yeah, so I'm gonna go ahead and open up this right here. in Notepad. All right. So I see when to come back to that. All right. So looking at it here, if I'm looking at the code just by itself. So it has to overflow here. And it has to set the auto. And what auto does, auto it basically tells the browser, okay, you go ahead and figure out where it ends, and you just go ahead and follow along. Um, and a lot of people actually just go ahead and use overflow to auto, and so it doesn't, so they don't have to do all the guesswork on how to figure out where the end of the text is going to be. Right, so they have auto. What's on that div? What is that div? Come down here. Okay, so this div is right here. So it includes that image, that picture, and it also includes a little paragraph. So it's going to apply that overflow to this div right here, to the whole entire thing. Okay. Okay, so let's see. All right. So let's bring this up. This is overflow.html. Let's bring this up into Internet Explorer and let's see exactly what this page is doing. So I'm going to come here in my file, open, go down to my overflow. Yeah, there you go. Okay, so that's our overflow, and you see now it's all nice and neat because it's our because it's using that image. It's actually using that image as the width and the height. So to determine the height of it, it's actually using that image. Yeah, whatever the dimensions of that image is. All right, so it has to float to the left. Yep. All right. Now you notice it says auto. So if we were to put in information, additional information inside this div tag, um, so let's say after our let's see, after inside of our div tag that we have here, after that paragraph tag right here, let's put in some text. What I'm going to do, I am going to actually copy this and repeat it again. Yeah, so I'm going to take this whole entire paragraph and I'm just going to copy it and paste it on the next line. Okay. So now when I do this, it should now have, you should see that paragraph twice. So that paragraph is going to come up twice on here, and that yellow part is going to double in size because that's what we told it to do. No, so let's see. Save. Yep. So see, it doubled in size. So now, because as you see, the more information you put in there, the bigger it's going to get because we have it set to auto. Right. Now, since it's set to auto, now let's go ahead and set it to scroll. And what this does, it allows the person to actually, you can have it set to a certain part or a certain height and width, but you can also have the person scroll. They put a scroll bar on, automatically put a scroll bar there, so the person actually scroll through the div. Let's see if it let us do it. Yes, so let's keep our two paragraphs here. I'm going to keep those there, and we are going to go back up to our style sheet, our CSS, and right where it says overflow auto, let's change auto to scroll. All right, and that scroll option gives us the ability, or gives tells the browser, okay, we want to scroll for this one. Go ahead and add a scroll bar to it. Save. There you go. So now you can actually see it's a little scroll bar. So if you were to, so if we put additional information in there, it would allow us to actually scroll a little bit further down. All right. Now we can also do. They also have one called hidden, and what hidden does, it allows any extra space, or it basically it doesn't adjust it. It doesn't adjust it. It's going to. It's right. Says it's going to stop, and then add it, if it's any words that's after the point where it stopped, you're not going. It's not going to adjust itself. It's so it's going to be. It's going to cut off the yellow part, and in some cases it also cut off the actual text itself too. So let's change. So let's go back to our notepad here, and let's change our scroll. Let's change that to hidden. All right. Change that to hidden. Do my save. It is. All right. So I guess we didn't have enough text. I guess. Fine. Yes. Because also it said width 100% too. So if we let's change the width to 50%. Yes, sorry. So the width right under our div, it originally had it at 100%, but I changed it to 50% so you can actually get it to hide. So I'm going to just cut it in half. Yep. Fine. So right, yeah, because right now it doesn't have an actual lot of thing to. That was the width too. We need to do the height. What am I doing? The width, because we're trying to adjust the height. So let's say the height, 50%. Now, but that tab over, so make it so it'd be easier to see. Alright. And we're trying to make it cut off, because right now we have it set to hidden, and we're gonna try to cut off, so it makes it it hides one part of our div. Did not do it. What? Okay, if this doesn't work, I am going to quit. Did I say it? I don't think I said that. Alright. Yep, stayed the same. Alright. So it didn't, so we weren't able to do the hidden, but it actually gives a really good example of it in your book on page. You didn't do hidden? It actually doesn't give you an example for hidden in here. But it does. You can do the option of hidden, and it actually will hide part of the div that you don't want to be seen.